talking about? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some playoff football? Because I sure am. I'm Cobra, and joining me tonight is Kat and Ryan. Welcome back, Ryan. And of course, we got a great show coming up. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, perfect. So,
Football.
we have, football. We only have 3 more weeks of this, guys. It's sad, but it's true.
What do you mean 3? We got 2 weeks left. We got this week and then Super Bowl.
But we got the Pro Bowl.
Got the Pro Bowl in the middle, sandwiched in the middle,
Can't
man.
forget the Pro Bowl.
What's
As
the Pro
much
Bowl?
as we'd like. Oh, right, yeah, it's true. Anywho,
Yeah.
Anywho,
wait, what team do you root for, Ryan?
Colts. We literally got Jonathan Taylor into the Pro Bowl, and I think Quentin Nelson also made it in, but that's about all the Colts representation in the Pro Bowl.
Right. I mean, and if the Bills make the Super Bowl, well, they won't have anyone representing them in the Pro Bowl. So there's that.
Well,
But that's a big if. Let's hope they finish the story. But before we get to our bold bracket, very interesting moves and happenings happening with coaches in the NFL. Obviously, Jacksonville, Vegas, Jacksonville, Vegas, Dallas,
Vegas,
Jets.
Yeah, I feel like the Jets is the one that everybody's just kind of forgetting about.
The Bears, the Bears and the Saints. Saints need a spot. We'll get to them after we talk about the coaching hires. So we had Aaron Glenn go from the Lions to become the head coach of the Jets. We had Ben Johnson also go from the Lions to the Bears.
I need a flowchart for this.
Yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars got offensive coordinator Liam Cohen from the Buccaneers, and that was a mess. That was a mess. Hey, Ben, New England Patriots got Mike Vrabel. We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders hired Pete Carroll. Washed up Pete Carroll.
I don't think he's that washed up.
Where is Pete Carroll from?
Seattle. He was from the Seahawks.
Okay.
And Dallas hired Brian Schottenheimer, the son of Marty. So expect a Marty ball off Temu, if you remember that joke. And of course, the San Francisco 49ers got a new defensive coordinator and famous Xerxes cosplayer, Robert Saleh.
Don't you mean they got a defensive coordinator back? Because he was formerly a defensive coordinator of the 49ers.
That's exactly right. And speaking of bringing the band back together, Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator, New England Patriots.
Yep.
Just, yeah. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right?
Well, more like a snake in the grass. More like a snake in the grass.
Well, to his credit,
he did steal a lot of money from the Denver Broncos and Mark Davis. So, to his credit.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that every time he has been an offensive coordinator for the Patriots, it tends to go pretty well. It's just when he gets the head coaching role anywhere else. I mean, he also was the offensive coordinator for the one and only good year of Mac Jones's career. And as soon as he was out the door, Mac Jones was being terrible.
But I do think there's one thing you are forgetting there, Ryan. The head coach there was Bill Belichick. or sorry, Belichick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
it's
the big
definitely
difference. Now
yeah,
it's
there's definitely a difference.
yes, yeah,
But
it
it's
is
not
a
like
different
Belichick was
coach.
the reason why the offense was good.
No, but again, this is a different coach, different atmosphere. I mean, hell, Mike Vrabel said to win a Super Bowl, he would literally cut his own penis off. Actual quote. So,
Is that what he was doing when he traded away AJ Brown?
was that even him? I don't even know. Was that him or the general manager of the Titans? Anywho,
goodness gracious me.
and I'm only going to be focusing on the head coaches. Of the head coaching hirings, which one do you think was the best? And Ryan, I'm starting with you, then going to Kat, and going to Ben, and myself. Yeah,
All right.
which means there's plenty of meat on this bone. Let's go.
All right. So in terms of best, I mean, it's hard to grade some of these ones because we just haven't seen the combos, obviously, in any sort of action. But I would probably lean towards, either the Pete Carroll signing in with the Raiders, or the Vrabel going to the Patriots, because I think in both of those situations, it was them essentially bringing in a coach who was specifically brought in to fix a major need. The Patriots needed to fix close to everything, and the Raiders desperately needed defense, which is Pete Carroll's specialty. Legion of Boom, anyone?
Valid point. Kat!
What did I miss?
We're discussing
doing a
head
roundtable
coach
about head coaching changes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And we're on Kat.
We're going with best.
Yeah, in your opinion.
Okay, so this is gonna, everybody's gonna just beat me up for this one. So Dallas hired Brian Schottenheimer, right?
Okay. Can someone, if she's gonna say that Brian Schottenheimer was the best move, someone please call Roger Goodell and schedule Kat for the drug test.
Let me finish.
Yeah, let's hear her out before we drug test her.
There have been a lot of those teams that have been struggling in multiple sports. The Orioles were one of them for a while. There are multiple issues with the team, right? They bring in some head coach that's from like BFE, and the next season it's kind of it's like a feel good movie, right? The next season, for whatever reason, all of the chemistry suddenly starts clicking into place, and suddenly the guys want to perform for this idiotic head coach who nobody thought should be in that head coach position.
Small caveat
you're
here?
basically going for the underdog here.
So I'm thinking that Mr. Brian Schottenheimer is gonna surprise us.
All right, Brian, fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks here.
So one small caveat, because you mentioned them bringing in somebody new. Schottenheimer had been the Cowboys offensive coordinator for a few years at least, and he's been an assistant coach for 28 years without a head coaching offer.
See,
but he is someone who's been
also
in the.
tells me that he knows the team. But come on, guys, when you're not the head coach, you can't make those big decisions. You have to stay in your lane. You can't be sitting there telling the defensive coordinator that he messed up when you're the offensive coordinator or when you're the special teams guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure free speech is something that the Cowboys allow when you've got Jerry Jones there telling them exactly what to call.
The guy basically ranks last in offensive coordination, offensive rank and stuff.
Which Ben, now it is your turn. What do you think was the best head coaching hire?
After Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's
the
cooking Las Vegas.
Ah, okay. So you're going with Pete Carroll, just like Ryan is.
Yeah, and again, another component to that is that the Raiders have a lot of those pieces on defense, and then they can find a quarterback that fit Pete Carroll's style. They don't have to mold Pete Carroll to fit a quarterback style.
No, Russell Wilson.
Anywho, or hey, Justin Fields. Anywho, and as for me, I am actually going to say that the Jaguars' hire of Cohen was probably the best move of the coaching hires.
They
The guy who
definitely
made up
needed
a
something
story
different.
about a sick child. The reason why he didn't answer the Buccaneers phone call.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, Cohen made up an excuse as to why he never answered a Bucs phone call back because he first interviewed for the Jaguars coaching job before Bulk got canned.
Bulky, yeah.
The Buccaneers gave Liam Cohen a nice little payday to still be their offensive coordinator. And the Jaguars called Bulky and called Cohen back. Buccaneers are trying to get a hold of Cohen, and he's nowhere to be found. And then his excuse as to why he missed the phone call is because his kid was sick, which was a complete bullshit.
Yeah, and again,
Wow.
it's still a good move by the Jacksonville Jaguars to get him, primarily because it is because of Cohen that Baker Mayfield has been a success. So bringing him in, former offensive coordinator, when the head coach of the Buccaneers is defensive minded, okay, bringing him in to help Ben's favorite quarterback, the simp for Trevor Lawrence, help him find his game. Yep, to have his game restored back to the move where Ben can just look at a cardboard cutout Trevor Lawrence and go, "Oh yeah, baby."
Who's really affected this move?
But can I say one thing about that hiring specifically?
Go ahead.
I see people all the time saying that, Liam Cohen is a big reason why that offense is good. Why is it when Baker Mayfield is on an offense that struggles, like his years on the Panthers or Browns, it's Baker's fault? But the second he's performing well in Tampa, it's, it was his offensive coordinator. Then his offensive coordinator gets poached to be a head coach, and the new offensive coordinator is suddenly given all the praise for him playing good, and it's never given to Baker.
Baker Mayfield is now on his 8th offensive coordinator now.
Yes.
Yeah, because whenever he has a good season, the offensive coordinator gets poached, and the rest of the time, the offensive coordinators have gotten canned.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know, but all I gotta say is,
Because,
figure it out.
this turnaround for Baker, really, the turnaround happened last year with under Dave Canales
and Sean McVay.
Well,
and
yeah,
Sean
he was
McVay.
when he was in LA with Sean McVay. But the overall turnaround on more than a 1 or 2 game basis, though, was his year with Dave Canales in there, which, as far as I'm aware, Cohen had nothing to do with that resurgence.
No.
And Cohen just was able to keep the momentum going, so I'm a little cautious to call that the best hire.
Yeah. I'm with you. I understand.
Also, I thought I saw something that Cohen actually had signed the extension with the Buccaneers and then went back on it, Josh McDaniels style.
Oh.
Never got a chance to sign it. The Buccaneers were looking for him to sign it, and they never.
Okay. Because I thought I saw the NFL post 3-year extension with him,
Yeah, because he
before
agreed.
he had
He
signed it.
agreed to it before he signed it, and
Oh,
then
okay, so he agreed, but then
It was a verbal
wouldn't put his
agreement.
name down.
He was-
Yeah.
he was on his
Okay.
way to the facility when the Jaguars called him, literally, and he ghosted the Buccaneers.
Okay, so he had agreed, just not in writing.
Right, correct.
Okay.
All
I
right.
was gonna say,
So,
I thought I saw the post.
so before we get to the bracket recap, let's discuss one final vacancy of the NFL. One final head coaching vacancy,
Be right
and that
back,
is the
guys.
New Orleans. All right, that is the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints, currently have a conundrum. Yep, the Aints. So if you were the general manager of the New Orleans Saints, what direction would you go? Same order, Ryan. What would you do?
All right, so if I'm the Saints, I would be setting the general manager to focus on the cap and try and figure out how to get us below the cap, because we obviously know the Saints are infamously in cap jail for the 500th year in a row, trying to avoid a death sentence from the NFL for being 50 million over the cap or something like that. So
They
I would
can't keep getting away with this.
So I would have the GM work on that while the rest of the front office basically goes through the remaining head coaching free agencies, and take your time to get it right, because there are no more. You're the last team waiting on a signing, so it's not like, oh, the Cowboys or the Raiders were going to come in and swoop up whoever you start circling as your lead candidate.
Right.
There's no more team circling your other candidates, so you can kind of have your choice of who's left. You've missed out on some of the blue chip prospect potential, like Ben Johnson, if he would have even gone there. But you still have you have the benefit of time, which is the biggest thing, and something you can't buy. No
Time.
matter how much Jerry Jones tries.
Yep. Cat.
I have to agree with they need to take their time. I don't know much about their front office and how they're going to handle the draft and all that, but I think they need to have basically a contingency plan in place. Because when it comes time for the draft, how are they going to have a head coach who calls the guys and says, "Hey, you want to come be a Saint with us?" Like, that's going to be awkward.
Yeah,
Now
ideally,
this is from the back of my brain. Don't judge me. Wasn't there a a Bills coach that they were gonna talk to, the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator?
I think it's
Joe Brady,
Joe
the
Brady,
offensive
offensive coordinator.
Okay. So obviously they're not going to talk to him a whole lot just yet because he's a little busy.
Yeah, and
But
he's not like Ben Johnson, who will talk to teams during his playoff week.
right. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the Saints need to have some kind of a plan going forward. And the draft isn't until the end of April. Like, they have time.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I feel like even if they interview the Bills guy, Joe
Joe
what?
Brady.
Joe Brady.
I know, weird having a Brady involved with the Bills.
That is weird.
But
That
they're
is
not
very
related.
weird.
They're not
I
related.
was like, this is weird. But and in the back of my head I'm going, it's not
There was a
Brady.
man
It is
named
Brady.
Joe Brady.
I just think that they have to remember, the makeup of their team and plan accordingly.
Yeah, and I think my ideal timeline there for the Saints to find their head coach, because obviously the Super Bowl is that second Sunday in February. You basically take the full month, the rest of the month of February, and then first week of March would be your absolute latest that I would want a head coach hired by.
Yeah.
But take that time to interview Joe Brady. I'd circle Kellen Moore as well, who was a fairly good offensive coordinator in Dallas, then went to the Eagles, and he kept that offense to some extent.
I don't think
Again, I'm
Kellen
not
Moore
giving him a ton of credit, but at least keep him on your radar.
Yeah. All right,
Again.
Ben.
They need to hire a coach ASAP. For
Yeah.
one reason, they need to figure out the quarterback. Are we keeping Carr? Or are we moving on from Carr? They need to figure out their running back situation. Kamara isn't getting any younger. He's getting older. He's going to be, 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
And that's a
Bay has
team
yet
I
to
could
see
see
it.
taking someone like a Cam Scataboo in the draft.
I mean, they're not going to go into the
Thomas.
draft without a head coach.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
impossible. That's
I
impossible.
don't think any team has ever done that.
I
No,
wouldn't
you
put it
literally
past the
can't.
Jets to have gone into the draft 1 year without a head coach.
They probably
Who was it?
No.
I just said I wouldn't put it past the Jets. I don't know a
Yeah.
specific year that they didn't.
Yeah. Well, all I
I'm
have
going
to
to
say
Google
about
that.
all I have to say is this: is that the Saints don't have need to get this right, but they don't have a lot of time to do it realistically. Blink and you'll miss it because free agency is upon us. Free
Let me just
agency is
say,
upon us.
you don't want to
Finish it
be
up.
like the Cowboys last year and wait until the
Yeah.
last month.
Again, I think the ideal time for them to sign one would be, say, 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. So, like that week of the 22nd, President's Day weekend, essentially, would be the time to lock down your head coach.
Right.
Then you've got about 2 to 3 weeks to get ready for free agency.
Right. All right. So let us get now to recap. All right. And since we are going by points, we're going to talk about the recap first. The Washington Commanders upset the Detroit Lions. I believe it was ow,
45 to 31. What?
Thank you.
It's not
Ow.
new.
What the hell is that, Ben? Ow. Ow. Here.
Not me.
The hell? Ow. Anyhow. All right. 45-31 Washington. And finally, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Los Angeles Rams in the snow 28-22. Stat Patford ended up showing up. It was typical Eagles. The Eagles didn't make as much mistakes, as the Rams did. The Rams made a lot of them. And now to the AFC. The Kansas City refs. Wait, I said Chiefs, not not Kansas City refs. What?
We all know who you're talking about.
All right, yeah, the Kansas City refs defeated the Houston Texans 23-14. As Roger Goodell rigged the game for Patrick Mahomes, his personal fuckboy. What? Did I just say that out loud?
That was your outside voice. That was not your inside voice.
I guess so. And of course, I told you guys this was the game of the weekend, and it turned out it was. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Baltimore Ravens 27-25.
Lamar
Bad for
Jackson
Mark
does it
Andrews.
again.
Yep.
No, it's
Lamar
it's not even on.
Lamar
It's not even on Mark
Jackson
Andrews.
needed to take a shit. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
I mentioned this yesterday. The Ravens team that was on the field last weekend was not the Ravens team that beat the Steelers. It
It's not
just
the Ravens.
they
It's not the
did
Ravens.
not feel
He's-
like the same team. Like
They're
just
never the same.
watching.
In the playoffs, they're not the same. That's why we never have confidence in it.
Anywho, guys,
It very well could be, but it wasn't the same team. They just
guys,
didn't have it.
let's move forward. Unfortunately, as much as we like to look at the past, we got to move forward. It's Championship Sunday.
Woohoo!
Yep. And we're going to start with the AFC. The Kansas City Rams face off against the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship. I'm going to start with Ryan, Kat, Ben, and myself. Who are you guys? Who are you picking to win?
I'll be right back.
Ryan.
My heart says Buffalo Bills. My brain says you can't beat the refs. So I'm gonna say Buffalo.
All right, Kat.
Because going with your brain never works.
Yep.
Considering Buffalo was one of the teams that actually handed Kansas City a loss a
The
couple
only
years
team that
ago.
handed Kansas City a loss.
This season, yes.
Thank you. This season.
Well, Mahomes a loss.
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, that Week 18 team, the Chiefs were trying to lose.
Yes, yeah, because they were playing Carson Wentz, the former Philadelphia Lord and Savior.
Yeah. Well,
so, Kat,
and they were playing backups at all the other spots, too.
Yep. Kat?
I'm
Redhead
gonna
cheese.
go. Don't hate me. I'm gonna go with Kansas City.
I mean, that's a very wise choice.
It is, unfortunately. Ben?
Unfortunately, Kat, that is the wrong answer. Let's go with the Buffalo Bills. They're going to win by 3 points. It's going to come down to the last few seconds of the game.
Yep.
Seriously,
You
I
want
hope
me
you
to
guys are
go
right.
ahead and speak something into existence?
I hope you guys are right.
Buffalo all the way this time. Buffalo all the way this time. Let's do
What are you
it.
going to say, Ryan?
Finish
Hey,
the story, Josh.
how about this for a prediction? Kansas City's kick goes wide right this time.
And the refs move the goalpost.
That would be great. That would be great. All right.
Because Buffalo trying to beat a team 4 times in a row
there's a
hasn't
late
gone wrong
flag on the
before.
play.
Yep. By the way, NFC guys, Washington, Philadelphia. Ryan, Washington or Philadelphia? Who you got?
Both teams have mobile quarterbacks with multiple receiving targets. Yeah, both of them have had fairly effective run games, but I think the fact that Washington's run defense hasn't been great, and then the Daron Payne injury, which came out, was that earlier today or was that yesterday?
That was today.
That was today.
Okay, so the Daron Payne injury that he won't be playing in this weekend's game, that's going to weaken that defensive interior, allowing for Saquon Barkley to carry the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
All right. Kat?
I'm sadly of the same mindset, and I am going with the Eagles.
Yeah, that Philly defense just does not have very many weaknesses.
No.
And Washington's defense has a glaring weakness at run defense.
Ben?
Yeah.
Ben?
Well, let me just say something. Last week, everybody thought I was crazy.
You have 5 seconds.
Everybody thought I was crazy when I picked Washington last week. I predicted everything that happened in that game. I predicted Sandstrill would get an interception. He got 2. I predicted a pick 6. That was Quan Martin. He got 1 of those. There were 5 turnovers total. Turnovers were one of my keys. Possession of time was another key. And I'm making a mistake.
Hey, ow!
Wow.
Ben, what the fuck is your mic?
That's not me, bro.
What? How the hell is it scratchy then?
It's Ryan.
Ow.
Again, I said Louvu would make a difference, and sure enough, what happened on the pick six? He leveled the fuck out of Goff. He got a huge
And-
fine. He got a huge fine today, but worth it. Worth every penny.
Anywho,
So I
finish
am
it.
going
Wrap it
with
up.
Washington. Yo. This is my team. I don't care. I am going with
Bitch!
Washington. I am going with Washington. Jalen Hurts is dealing with a knee injury. He's going to be wearing a brace. He's not going to be very mobile. Saquon Barkley can't do it all. And Jalen Hurts doesn't have the arm to throw. All we have to do is shut down Saquon Barkley, focus on him. Lattimore, Sandstrill have been lights out at cornerback lately. Look
And
for
you've
Washington.
hated Lattimore.
I still do. He still doesn't show up when it doesn't matter all the time. He wasn't there for key games that we could have won in the season. But however, the keys to the game is again going to be turnovers, time of possession, and don't make any mistakes. Jaden Daniels has not made any mistakes. He's the best quarterback going on right now in the playoffs. He's going to be the winning quarterback at the end of this game.
All right. Well, let
You
me
do have the third worst run defense, though, so stopping Saquon
Yes.
is easier said than done.
Look what we did to Detroit. We still beat Detroit.
And I will say this though. Everyone last podcast, when we were picking the bowl bracket, only one of us detracted from Washington, and that was Alex.
Yep.
All right. And guess what? I'm going to go Washington too. Because here's the thing. Philadelphia looked pretty sketchy against the Rams. They didn't beat the Rams beat themselves. Just like with the Packers, the Eagles didn't beat the Packers beat themselves. And of course, as Ben alluded to, Jalen Hurts is playing with a knee brace. And as we all know, any quarterback that plays with knee brace for Washington or against Washington ends up with their knee doing the stanky leg in front of them.
Oh, you dead ass. You dead ass though. Oh, piece of shit, yeah.
Ben,
They were just messing.
swear to God. I swear to God.
What?
Anyhow, but that's my opinion. I think it's going to be Washington over Philadelphia.
So another tidbit. When I was listening to ESPN, they said that the Eagles allow 44% third down conversion rate, and Washington has all done. Well, Jaden has scrambled for 34 first downs on third down.
Yep. Anyhow, that is it for our bold bracket, which, of course, this week's podcast was brought to you by Duke Cannon Supply Company. Hey! Duke Cannon Supply Company is, of course, my favorite male hygiene provider. Not only do they deliver bold fragrances, but also proceeds for those fragrances support the troops.
They ordering online.
Yep. But of course, don't only take my word for it. Why don't you click on the link in the bio wherever you get your podcasts? Show the channel some love, and don't forget, Valentine's Day is coming. So, ladies, if you want your man smelling right, Duke Cannon Supply Company. Duke Cannon Supply Company. Give them that supply drop.
You hear that, Kat?
Oh yeah,
Give them
I'm
that
totally
supply drop
listening.
because of course, they do free shipping over $50. But again, use our affiliate link in the bio and show the channel some love. Duke Cannon Supply Company. That is it for the hard count. It's almost the end of the season. I can't believe it. But it is not the end of the Social Sports Pad Network. Because, obviously, if you've listened to us yesterday, Biscuits and Penalties, our hockey podcast, is going on and going on strong. We also have the Lap Down and the Dirt and Turf podcast in the pipeline, ready to go. We are getting ready for season 2 of those podcasts.
Yeah,
Also,
the Lap Down returns next week.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
I need to make a new logo.
Yep. And not only that, but on February 2nd, the Social Sports Pad Network steps into the ring for the Social Slam podcast. So be on the listen for that. It won't be a weekly podcast like the Hard Count, Dirt and Turf, Lap Down, and Biscuits and Penalties. It will be a bi-weekly podcast. So every 2 weeks, listen out for the Social Slam podcast. We're definitely having a special guest on our debut episode 2 with TikTok influencer and Twitch streamer Heel Josh. So once again, be on to listen for that. It's going to be a fun time, especially with Greg from the Lap Down and Alex from Biscuits and Penalties joining me in the ring. And of course, we got to thank our affiliates: Fanatics, Bulletproof Coffee, W Energy, Dr. Squatch, Century PC, Fubo TV, Smackin' Sunflower Seeds, Raw Nutrition, and Sleeps.com, and Duke Cannon Supply Company. I can't believe it's almost the end of season 3, guys. I cannot believe it.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am Cobra. And on behalf of Kat, Ryan, and Ben, we will see you on the field.
And remember,
don't forget, guys, we are also on YouTube, TikTok, and of course, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a comment, subscribe, follow us. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the field.